A pleasure to be here with Mr. Akash Khurana. Sir, welcome to the Kolkata Literature Festival. At the outset, let me ask you, what are you expecting from your session? What are you most looking forward to?
Okay, actually, I'm a bit fogged out right now. Just the joy of being here, the mecca of all things literary, has been overwhelming. And I have a fair idea about the session plan because we sort of jammed a bit on Zoom. I'm just looking forward to some nice organic thoughts emerging on the subject. So what really got me is a very special title of the session, which is Theatre of the Mind. I found it a pretty unique and rare and innovative kind of topic. And then, of course, it opens up in terms of if you delve into it, what it entails. But there's an interesting cross section in the panel uh, of people from various backgrounds, but which in a larger sense, there's a thread running through what they do and what they represent. Uh, but it would be interesting to see how these separate sort of inputting resources uh, come together as a whole. So yeah, it's just some excitement and pretty open about how it's going to flow.
Sure. Since this is on the premises of the book fair, is this the first time in a long time you're coming to the book fair, or do you manage to come every odd year?
To Kolkata,
Yes, the Kolkata Book Fair.
first, absolutely the first, and hence even more pleasurable. And Kolkata, I mean, is one of the favorite go-to places. I've been coming here for many years now, since the 70s. Uh, but but this is really special.
Let's talk a little bit about your script writing career in Bollywood. And you wrote scripts during the 70s and the 80s when Bollywood cinema was quite different to what we see today. So, how do you see the transition? Where do you think Bollywood script writing is at present? If you were to compare and contrast your era to this era, how would you do that?
So the essential craft of screenwriting hasn't changed. The deliverables remain the same. I mean, you have to go through the motions of exactly how a screenplay is crafted. But what was limiting in terms of genres and styles and expectations in the 70s and the 80s uh, suddenly has got a very interesting fillip in terms of because of the digital space, the OTT space, where the ability to experiment and delve into far more diverse uh, areas and themes of content than ever before. Uh, that's been a special sort of quantum leap as far as the craft is concerned. And to be fair, people are delivering on it. So we have a good bunch of writers. And so, yeah, it's very heartening, I would say, that the genre, there's been a diversification of themes and you can explore. There was a very, of course, starting from Manikda and Moralda here and Champenical, there was parallel art cinema movement, even in the 70s and 80s. Uh, but it didn't have that much of a scope because there was only that much a filmmaker could make. But now with the digital space, the OTT platforms, multiple stories, and yeah, you can tell your own story in any which way you want, and it's a very good time, I think, for writers.
You've had lots of experience in theatre as well, and I've got a twofold question about theatre. Firstly, what would you say would be your most memorable experience working as a theatrician on stage? Any particular play or any particular experience you felt would be right up there? And secondly, what do you make of theatre now in India? How is it doing as an industry according to you?
Let me take the second one first. For 2,000 years and more, people have said theatre's going to die. It hasn't died. Uh, It has sustained itself through some mysterious, magical way, whether it's in Bengal, whether it's in the West, regional theatre. Theatre has survived. And so I would say there is that level of consistency in the medium, that it's there forever to stay. Innovative work keeps getting done, but there's a part of a natural evolution. But theatre is in a good space, has always been, even during the pandemic. Our company did hybrid sort of productions. Uh, so, yes, theatre is pretty much the way it was, and thriving, I would say. Uh, as far as singling out performances, I mean, there are a few, but a couple of them that come to mind is a play I did called Tuesdays with Maury. That's not only my personal opinion; it's also about audience feedback. And the Cane Mutiny Court Martial was another one. Yes, actually several. I can't off the cuff. I've done what about 50 plays, over 1,000 performances. So I can't single out as such. It's like having a favorite sibling. Currently, I mean, I've done 3 productions recently. As we speak, there's a four. The next one on the cards. Yeah, basically, I enjoy what I do, and they've been good parts. I've enjoyed playing them.
Finally, let's talk a little bit about your book, Metamorphosis, which talks about leadership, but leadership through what angle, through what prism, and tell us a bit more about what the book can tell young leaders or leaders of tomorrow.
So actually, the fulcrum is mentoring. It's mentor morphosis, how mentoring brings out the best in you for potential leaders. What I've done is actually I've taken my own journey and evolved mentor types. There are 14 or 15 such types during various stages of human development, mind. And then I asked the reader to do the same exercise, revisit their mentoring journey, and what have their learnings been, and are they gracious enough to have thanked their mentors enough. And then there's a section on mentoring for creativity, and finally mentoring for adversity, especially post pandemic. So there are these specific segments.
Thank you so much, sir. Have a great time at KLF.